Hello and welcome back to my scrap room. My name is Jennifer Perry. Today we're testing out another camera angle. I just bought a new arm and I also bought a ring light, but that's being charged at the moment. So I thought while we're doing this, I will just do a little diamond painting and kind of see how things work out as we go. So let's try that. Well, I may need to put a weight on it. What do I have that can be a weight? Key, that works. Okay, another light. There we go. Okay, so while we're testing out a new camera arm, we still have not put in my big boom yet. We're testing and kind of checking how I use my room versus where equipment needs to be. And let me put this in a more comfortable position for me. There we go. So we're still in the process of testing out the room, finding out how I use it and where equipment needs to be versus poking a lot of holes in the wall. So we have not installed the big boom yet. I really hope I have enough of these left. So until then, I'm kind of putting together temporary / equipment that I can use in different parts of my room. So this resembles the very first arm that I had, but it is called a scissor arm, and it's got a weighted sand base. But I'm also using my camcorder, so that's why I need to worry about weight, because it's weighted for a webcam, which means it would work out really well when I do lives. But I didn't want to do a live today. I wanted to just go ahead and play and not worry about people walking through my camera or people walking in during the live. So I'll just do it this way and I'll edit. Although I haven't edited in so long, I hope I remember how. So, but anyway, I'm loving the room. Mike is making paper boxes for me for the scrapbooking portion of my room. And then I have the diamond painting portion figured out. It's, fairly simple. In fact, what's really weird is in this room, I don't know if you've noticed, but my canvas is flat. I'm not on an easel today because we changed the height of the desk slightly to accommodate being able to put a trash can underneath it so that I would stop tripping over trash cans. And changing the height of the desk just slightly changed me being able to lay a canvas flat. So I will still have to use my easel sometimes, but it's not exclusive anymore like it was before, which means I get to utilize the window lights too, because now I'm sitting in front of a gorgeous window and I get more natural light. Well, speaking of which, yeah, it is, okay. I was wondering if my overhead lights were on, because during the day you can't really tell. So in addition to playing with my diamond painting today, which by the way, I ordered this setup at 9 o'clock this morning, and it just was delivered at noon the same day. How freaking crazy is that? So in addition to my diamond painting today, I have a candle going on my burner, on my little candle burner, and I'm melting down a full-size 3-wick candle, and I'm pouring it into tart molds to turn my 3-wick candle into a candle wax melt for my burners. Because I like, what am I playing with? This is P. I like burning my candles in this room, but I don't want to worry about A, catching all of the paper on fire, or B, catching a cattail on fire. So I'm just converting all of my candles into wax burners. And that's not taking, you know, I'm ending up actually with more wax than I thought I had. So I'm making gift boxes for my mom and my daughter to have some of my favorite scents with them. And I have this image zoomed in quite a bit. In fact, I may bring it out just a hair. There we go. Because when I bought this one, I didn't realize that it was stolen artwork. I do have the name of the artist. I put it down below. Another diamond painter, when I posted this in a Facebook group, told me who the artist was and gave me where you can buy the canvas. So I'm going to link that down there, down in the description. Because if you want this canvas, I would rather you buy it from the actual licensed artist instead of AliExpress, which is where I got this. But I purchased it a year ago. And a year ago, I was not aware of the stolen art problem. So I'm trying to not show the full image, because the one that I have is not, I believe it is stolen. I bought it from AliExpress, so I believe it's stolen. And I actually was not even going to film it, but now that I've got the new setup and I can zoom in super close and not show a lot of the canvas, I'm okay with showing part of it. Because my daughter is an artist and I try to be very respectful of artwork and whether or not they get paid for it. I am currently only trying to buy paintings from reputable dealers that pay for the artwork. And the last two that I've ordered, I ordered from Evermoment right as everybody was figuring out about the stolen art stuff. So I've got those are the last two that I've ordered from AliExpress. And that was January, maybe, that I ordered. I haven't ordered paintings since then, until quite recently. There was a canvas that became available on Diamond Art Club that I've had my eyeball on. And they finally did it in squares, so I ordered it, and it's called Erase. And I actually ordered it on a pre-order. So it will come in during my 1 in, 1 out rule that I put on myself. And I've since finished that one painting that I was working on when I told myself I have to finish this one before that one comes in. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. I'm on a little bit of a Cheez-It high. I try not to buy Cheez-Its because I eat the whole dang box. I'm not exactly sure how they ended up in my basket, but I ended up with some Cheez-Its in my basket, and I'm on a Cheez-It high. So, I know I saw it. There it is. So, anywho. Oh, there's more than I thought. Okay. I thought I missed a whole section. But I did not. So, anywho, when Erase gets here, it is the first of the known canvases that I have, that I know who the artist is, since all this started. I have other Diamond Art Clubs in my collection I have not worked on yet, so I can film those freely because I know the artist. But I also have some that I need to go ahead and get them done, get them out of my stash, and concentrate on just buying good artwork. So, anywho, that's my goal. Good. I had someone in a Facebook group attached to this one where the lady told me who the artist was. Another lady just put on there, "Oh, that's stolen artwork." I know that now. I didn't know that then. But I'm not going to throw it away because I spent money on it. It's not going to do the artist any good if I throw it away. I did spend money on it. I can just be more conscious of where I buy my paintings in the future. So that's what I'm doing. That's how I'm handling myself. And it looks like there are, oh, who is it? Who's the other seller? Hold on. I know I can do Diamond Art Club. Who's my other seller? Oh, it's in pictures because I saved it. This one, okay. DIY Moon Shop. That's the other one. And I can't pronounce this guy's last name, so I will put it in, again, I'll put it in the comments. Or in the description. So anywho, I can order from DIY Moon Shop, I can order from Diamond Art Club, and I think there's one other that is a known pacer artist, which is good. I hope we get more of those. So anywho, this one is, I call it Book Road. Book Road, the actual name of it is Reader's Path. And when I spotted it, my first thought was that would go really well in my library. But, again, I also ordered this one before I knew size matters. So I think this one is kind of small. I don't think it's going to end up being what I wanted it to be. But again, I'm going to go ahead and finish it because not only did I pay money for it, but it is also really good practice on drill placement. So that's another thing you can do with your canvases that are turning out to not be what you thought it would be. Go ahead and finish them. Not only are you enjoying the process, but you can use them to practice your drill placement. Without worrying about messing up an expensive canvas. Just looking there, I think that's it on that one. So that's what I'm doing. I don't think this is going to be, it's a 30 by 40, and I don't think it's big enough. I don't think I bought the right size. But again, with this hobby, there are some things that are lesson learned. So, and I think I've only been working on it for about a week. I started it on, let's look for a second. Let's look. Where's my... actually, I need to change the... Let's change this to the proper... Reader's Path. Is that what I said it is? Okay. I started it on November. I ordered it... I don't say when I ordered it, but I received it December 14th, 2019. So you figure... I had to have ordered it in October, and then I started it on November 14th of this year. So, not very long. Let's do O. Let's do O. Where's O? So anyway, that's what I'm up to. That's what I'm doing. I will tell you that being in front of this window is ended up costing us money because I have been watching a squirrel, and I think I hear the trash truck. Sorry guys, you might be able to pick that up. I have been watching a squirrel run across the street to the neighbor's house. They have oak trees, He's been getting his acorns, and then he's been running across the street to my house, climbing up my big cypress tree, hopping onto the crepe myrtle, and then hopping onto the roof. And then I hear all kinds of scurrying. And I don't know if he's scurrying in my attic or if he is scurrying on my rooftop. So I called out a wildlife removal specialist, and he did not see any entrance points into my attic. So the first thing we're going to do is lower our tree canopies, or we're going to lower the crepe myrtle by 6 feet, and then we're going to cut back some branches away from the house, which I've done within the last year and a half. So that tells you how resourceful these little squirrels are. So we're going to do that, and then the wildlife specialist is going to come back out, and then he's going to check again for squirrely activity and tell me what he sees. Last time we had a squirrel removed, it was $700. So I'm kind of hoping they're just playing on the rooftops, and that once we lower and raise canopies and branches and whatnot, that takes care of that problem. But I still would like to know where he is hiding his acorns, because I'm not sure I want an oak tree trying to sprout out of my roof. So I gotta figure that out too. Okay. Oh, I need to tell you guys what I bought. I can't show you, but I can tell you. You know that I keep my drills in a cutlery tray when I'm working. I've got videos in the past, the My Favorite Things Diamond Painting Edition shows a cutlery tray, and it's the one that I just kind of keep my drills in while I'm working. It keeps them organized the way that I like them. Well, I needed one more row. Like you've got silverware, spoons, knives, forks. I needed one more row because a regular tray had 4 rows. I needed 5. I was at Home Goods the other day. What am I working with? 8. I was at Home Goods the other day, and I found a tray with 5 rows. And I went, yes, hot dog, this is coming home with me. And it was only $8, $9, something like that. I thought, even better, perfect. You're really coming home with me. Well, not only did it have 5 rows, but it is extra wide. So I am thinking it is going to work really, really well on my large paintings. Because right now, this is a smaller painting that only has 23 colors. So my colors are kind of rolling around in there. But I think my larger canvases that have more than that, this new cutlery tray is going to work very, very well. So I'm excited. And it was only $8 or $9 at Home Goods. So think cutlery or silverware keeper, tray organizer, whatever you want to call it, with 5 slots where your knives, forks, spoons would go, and then a slot for dessert spoons or whatever that is extra long and extra wide. Now we want M. So I'm extremely happy about that. I'm actually kind of shocked. I've turned the camera on and there's not a cat to be found. So I'm wondering where the cats are. Because normally when I turn a camera on, they are ready for their close-up. That's it. Okay, so I need N. this one. I think there's just one, so I'm going to see if I can just pick it out of the tub. Okay, so it looks like, oh, let's do Q real fast before I forget that one. Okay, so now we can start our numbers. I always do letters first, then numbers, and then 310, because on this painting 310 is Legion. Oh, D and E. I've got some up there. I need to grab those. So anyway, how is your week doing? It is almost holiday time. Are you doing a little holiday just with your family that lives within your home? Are you on lockdown? Are you? We are not here in Texas so far. Everybody's just being cautious. So I'm not sure if we are doing Thanksgiving for just the three of us, or if we've got a few people coming over. I went and bought a turkey big enough for 8 or 10, depending on who comes over, or if anybody comes over. And I figure if people come over, then I've got enough food to feed everybody. If they don't, I've got turkey for days. And that's a good plan too. That works. Although, speaking of turkeys, and speaking of freezers, my freezer decided to play not very nice with us today. We had a power flicker, surge, whatever you want to call it, yesterday, and my freezer control panel decided to die and fry. So we didn't realize it till this morning, but luckily everything was still frozen very hard. And even luckier, this time last year I found on one of the neighborhood selling sites, somebody was just selling a normal refrigerator, like what you would find in an apartment, with that top freezer. They, were selling it for $150, and I thought, that's perfect for the garage. I've been getting into gardening lately. I need something just to throw some bottled waters in, that I'm not traipsing through my house dirty. And it's also a good spot to put, have a beer fridge. My husband doesn't drink a lot of beer, but he likes to have a little bit on hand, and it's not always feasible to get it in the refrigerator in the house. Depending on what I'm cooking, or what mood I'm in, or what I've stocked, or what's going on, because house fridges sometimes just don't have any room. So I thought, for $150, it's a beer fridge 99% of the time, and then I have an extra entertaining fridge for Christmas and holidays and stuff to just store food. And then another perk that I'd completely forgotten about was when I do my freezer cooking, it gives me an extra cold storage for the bulk food, like the bulk meat and stuff, to store it while I'm processing it without it being in the freezer. So thankfully I had a spare freezer, and boy, we chunked all the meat in that teeny weeny little freezer. I think when we open the door, it's going to attack us. I have all of my cheeses in the little refrigerator portion of it, and all of my frozen vegetables are in a cooler with ice thrown on top of them. We have ordered a new control panel, and hopefully Amazon will get it here tomorrow, and my husband will be able to put the new control panel on, and hopefully that fixes it. If not, I have bigger issues because freezers are out of stock until mid-December. So that might be a problem. I might lose a cooler of frozen vegetables. So, okay, let's take a quick peek. And I think it's all down to 310. So keep your fingers crossed for me that this gets fixed properly and that it works, because my freezer is not very old. But I kid you not, if I'm going to have a problem with my freezer, it is going to be either the week before or the week of Thanksgiving. Every cotton picking time. It never fails. In fact, my husband didn't even blink an eye when it happened this year. So, anyway, that was the excitement this morning. And that's what led to the stress eating of the Cheez-Its. Which means a little later on I'm not going to feel good. Because it's going to dawn on me that I ate half a box of family-sized Cheez-Its. But I guess there are worse things I could have stress ate. And it appears that this boom, this little temporary arm, might be working well enough that I might be able to do a little bit of scrapbooking. I typically try not to do scrapbooking with anything that sits on the tabletop, because I hit it so much that it just causes a shaky camera. But I need to get started again on my Allison Davis class, because I am falling behind, and I've been trying to film those layouts for you, but I don't think I've done any since week 3, possibly week 4, I can't remember, so I need to get back into that. Oops. And get myself caught up. So this might be the solution for that, temporarily, until we figure out permanent camera solutions. Sorry, I can't speak. That one's too wide. That one's got a nubby making it too wide. Come out of there. I will say this is where did I get this from? Home Fun? I think I got this from Home Fun. It's a super clear canvas, like extraordinarily clear, especially considering the last one that I worked on was not clear to the point of driving me crazy. So super clear canvas, very, very few trash drills. And the placement, these have been super simple to place and to get straight. Now, I will say that I think I did this on my own. I think it was user error, but I stored these, hanging them up, and I stored them in a closet, but the closet had an outside window. And I'm thinking the temperature fluctuations caused my adhesive to bubble and cause rivers. So before I started working on this canvas, I took an X-Acto knife to it and I basically crisscrossed the entire canvas and just made slits through the entire canvas. I didn't go all the way through to cut the actual canvas, I just made shallow cuts to cut the adhesive and make air pockets to where the air could escape. And then I rolled it, and then I kept it under weight for a couple of days, and it appears to have worked. I have had very little drill popping. What has been popping has been more spacing. Like when you put one in, the next one pops up just a little bit. Not popping as far as they're not sticking. So I think I fixed the canvas. But when I purchased the canvas, it was pristine. So I think the rivers and the not creases, but the rivers and the pooling was more my fault because of where I stored it. So I have since moved all of my canvases to the spare room, and I've got them laying flat and under weight. They appear to be fine, but I'm not taking any chances. And I only have 6 canvases. I don't have a whole ton of canvases, so I only have 6 waiting. I am not one of those people that have huge stashes because I have other hobbies. And I can't see myself buying diamond paintings that I'm not feasibly going to be able to get to in a reasonable amount of time. That's what I was just trying to say. So that's where we implemented the 1 in, 1 out rule. When you finish one, you can order one. And it seems to work well for me. So, especially if I stay with Diamond Art Club, because they ship so quickly that there's really no issue with not having a painting in your backup. But if I do get to where I do run out of paintings, I also have scrapbooking, so I think it'll be okay. So that's how it's working for me. Oh, now I can smell the candle. I bet you all of it's melted, because now I can smell it. Which means when I get done with this section, I'm going to stop the camera and go play with wax temporarily. Oh, that's a good spot to stop. Okay, I'm going to stop the camera for a minute because I think my wax is finished melting. I'm going to play with some wax really quickly and then I will be back. I'm going to put the cover on this. Don't mind the cat hair. I put this over my paintings. It's just a baking splat mat so that if the cat happens to come up and sit on it, we're good. So I will come back to you in just a moment. Hello, I'm back. So yeah, the wax melts are going to work out really well. I'm not going to have to buy any for quite a while. Between my Scentsy stash that I already have and the candles that I'm melting down, yeah, I'm not going to have to buy any new candles for quite a while. And these are just the ones that I am melting down to put into my wax burner, so we're good. So far there was a lilac that I melted down already, and then I've melted one called Snuggly Sweater, and now my eucalyptus candle. So I think I'm going to, well, I've got one more on there called Amber Musk. It's a Pure One import. But I have 2 more full-size candles. I'm not going to melt those down just yet. They might get melted down in the future, but I'm not going to do it yet. That way I can have that scent up here too, because that's one of my favorite scents. So anywho, that's going to work out quite well. Come to think of it, that might be why the cats aren't in here, because they don't like the candles. And I'm just not into having one of them knock over a flame candle or stick their tail in it accidentally because they don't know what a flame is. or something to that nature. So I'm melting these down just for my personal use, and then I'm just giving some to my mom and my daughter. Just to kind of share the love a little bit. So anywho, yeah, you can always tell when they're ready to pour because the scent breaks through, so you can start smelling the candle. Up until that point, you really can't smell it because the top layer hasn't melted through yet. When you can start to smell it, it's time to pour. Easy way to figure it out. And I just stick my candle on an electric candle warmer, coffee mug warmer thing that I picked up at Michael's. So just plugging along. I don't know if Addie's going to be watching this one or not. She has her hands full with a new baby brother. So I don't know if she has time for YouTube videos anymore, or if she has time for diamond painting. But Addie, if you're listening, hello, how are you? How do you feel about baby brother? It looks like from the pictures that you love him to pieces. And I wish I was there to hold him for myself, but I got to see Mama just before she gave birth, so that worked for me. Like literally before she gave birth. I think we were there on a Wednesday night, Thursday night, somewhere like there, and she gave birth on Sunday, so quite literally. So if you're interested in a scrap room tour, craft room tour, whatever studio tour that you, whatever you want to call it, as soon as I get everything the way that I want it, placement wise and functionality wise, I am definitely going to give a tour because I like doing those. I just have a few things that are not where I want them to be, and we're in the process of fixing that I want to be able to show you. Right now it's not going to do any good because I want to show you what we've done and how we did it and put blueprints up on Facebook. So just a little bit longer, a little bit more waiting, but I am really enjoying. I come in the mornings, I turn on all 3 of my lava lamps, I turn on my Sensei burner warmer candle thingamajiggy. So I'm drinking a Canada Dry ginger ale. But I turn on all my lava lamps, I open the windows, I am looking for my OS, looking for my next letter. I have my coffee, I watch a YouTube video or two for about 20 minutes, and then I either scrapbook or I diamond paint or I do household computer chores that have to be done. I spent yesterday, our cruise canceled, the one that we were going to take in January. I knew it was going to cancel, but you know when you get the official word, you're just kind of like, oh crap. So I spent yesterday doing all of the cancellation stuff. Luckily didn't have to cancel any flights, but we did have to cancel hotel and parking. And I will tell you, I am very impressed with the hotel. If you're ever in Galveston for a cruise and you need a good hotel, in at the water park in Galveston is where a lot of cruisers stay. And the first time we cruised, we didn't do it, well, actually, yes, we did. The first time we cruised Galveston, we did Comfort Suites on the seawall, because it was just one night, perfect. They let us leave our car in the parking lot, and they took us to port, and then they picked us back up, and then because they let us stay there, and not let us stay there, they let us leave our car there, I went ahead and just booked another night, and we stayed overnight just because I didn't want to get off the ship and drive immediately home. I wasn't sure how tired I would be. And then for last January when we went down, we stayed at, oh geez, I can't remember. It's literally right next to the port. Literally. I'll remember in a minute. And we left our car in the parking lot, and we were able to walk to the ship. It was on the correct side of the street. In fact, the ship horns are what woke us up the morning of. You know, all the ships coming in, the horns and everything, that's what woke us up. And just walked right directly to the ship. Was absolutely perfect. What was the name of that hotel? It's on the very tip of my tongue. I can't think of it. And then for this year, we were going to stay at the inn at the water park, because in all the Facebook groups, and you know, when everybody's getting together, they're like, oh, what hotel are you going to stay at? The inn at the water park is hands down where everybody wants to stay. So I was able to secure a room, because my first hotel of choice, that I can't remember the name of it at the moment, was not available. So I thought, okay, well, let's try inn at the water park. The one thing that made me nervous was it is prepaid and non-refundable. And I thought, well, you know what, for $129, if something happens, you know, I can do that. I can spend that money easily on diamond paintings or scrapbooking supplies, so we'll just chunk it up to a vacation expense. But when the cruise canceled yesterday, I called just to let them know, because it was non-refundable and whatnot. I just let them know we didn't need the room and we weren't going to be staying in it. And she asked, was it due to the cruise cancellations? And I said, yes, our cruise had just been canceled. And she said that because the vacation was canceled by the cruise line, we were eligible for total refunds. Shocked me. I was like, hot dog, I will go for that. So because of the way that they handled everything, I will definitely stay there again. Or book there again. I didn't get to stay there this time, but I will definitely book there again. And then of our port parking, there was a $15 cancellation fee, which, you know what, I'm okay with that. They have to pay somebody to do all those manual cancellations. I'm okay with that. So that is still less than 1 day of parking, and it was going to be a 14-day cruise. It's okay. So everything's been refunded. I went ahead and did a full refund on the cruise. I understand that they're doing 100% refund, you know, not 100% credit, and then onboard credit and all this stuff if you rebook. But they have now been out of business for a year due to the CDC. That is making me slightly nervous. So I went for a full refund. And when and if they get back up to sailing and I find the cruise that I want, out of the port that I want, in the month that I want, I will be happy to rebook again and just repay for it again. I don't want to have to deal with restrictions, or you have to book and sail, you know, during this time frame, or, you know, I don't want to have to deal with any restrictions to deal with it. We don't know what the future holds. We don't know if the industry is even going to be there. I really hope it is, because I love cruising as much as I love RVing. But I'll put my money back in my back pocket, and when it's time to rebook, I can just rebook and pay for it again. It's okay. So, got all that paperwork ready and taken care of yesterday. And that was way more adulting yesterday than I wanted to do. So, I think we're going to do 8 next. So today I had no errands to run, no appointments, no anything. I planned on staying in my pajamas, which is why we're not doing a live, because I didn't feel like getting dressed. And just doing my relaxing stuff that I like to do, diamond painting, doing my candles. I wanted to play with my jelly plates with card making and practice with those for a little bit. Just have a play day. And the freezer went out. So just keep your fingers crossed we don't lose our freezer, because it's not that old. And I really don't feel like dealing with the hassle of ordering another one and having to wait for it to come back in stock and all that jazz. So anywho's, I want the little part to work. Can you tell I'm still stressed about it? It wouldn't be so bad, but I had just gone grocery shopping. My freezer's full. And again, why is that always the way it works? It never works just, and it never dies just before you have to go to the grocery store and your freezer's empty. No, it always dies right when you have filled it right back up. Every cotton picking time. Oopsie, I need some wax. I have this, I cut it in half. I have this tiny little, I don't know if you can see it, little bitty piece of wax that is just riddled with holes. And I'm trying to see just how long it actually will last. How many, can I finish the painting with it? I was using blue tack, and for some reason with this painting the blue tack wasn't working well. It kept coming out of my pen, getting pulled out of my pen. So I went back to the pink wax, and it appears to be working better. Oh, my ring light's charged. Let's test the ring light, shall we? Oopsie. Okay, so ring light on, ring light off, ring light on, ring light off. Does it make that big of a difference or no? Well, kind of. Kind of, once I get my hand out of the way. I think we're done with 8. Yeah, I think the ring light is doing something, just a little bit. So we'll leave it on. I know, my phone just told me the front door was opened. I know, I heard that. Okay, so now I have 5. Let's get 5 done. I will tell you, with this window, I am getting distracted more during the day. I find myself just staring out the window, watching the world go by. And sometimes it's a fight between me and the cats. Are they going to stare out the window, or am I going to stare out the window? Any other 5s? Doesn't look like it. Okay, so now I need 2. I'm liking this setup. I do have to weight the arm when I'm using the camcorder, but I think for the webcam it might be perfect. I'll wait and use the webcam on a canvas that I can show easier. Oh, it's the camera that I hear. It's like I hear something whirling. It's the camera. Okay, so now I want 3. Actually, let's do 4, because 4 is easier for me to see, and then that will make 3 pop out. So we'll do 4 first. Because all of them in here are around the same color, and I'm having trouble distinguishing. So we'll do 4 first, because my eye can see that one easier. These drills are just amazing me. How there's so few trash drills. Trash, how do you say that? Trash drills. There we go. And how well they're fitting together. I'm honestly thinking that this would be a canvas that I probably would not have to seal. Because again, the drills that have been raising are all with, I put one in and it's pushed that one out just a little bit because they're fitting so tight together. Okay, so I have 1 O that I need to fill in, and then 3s. I do have this canvas turned sideways. It's not something that I would be able to do with some of the other canvases because the symbols would be a little difficult to distinguish. But on these, they're very clear number, letter. There's no symbols at all. It has just been a very pleasant canvas to work with. Very pleasant. And it's been a nice change. And I didn't realize when I bought this that it was going to be a snack size, but it kind of is. It's kind of one of those ones that you need a fast, quick, brainless. It's easy to do. It's not 90 by 120, you know. 30 by 40. I never thought I would consider 30 by 40 snack size, but when you start getting into the larger canvases, this becomes snack size. So I need to fill in the C's, which is the red portion, and then I will be able to do the 3/10. And I think once I'm done with this section, I'm going to be done for a little bit because my eyeballs are starting to cross, which means my eyes need to rest a little bit. When I started this morning, this section over here is where I started. So I've done all of this and all of this today. So, well, I just realized you can't see that. But I've done 2 rows, 2 complete rows. So my eyeballs are starting to cross. But if I keep up with this pace, I will probably be done with this by, because I'm not going to be able to work on it much on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday of next week. But I will probably be able to get done by this weekend. If I'm able to work on it today and tomorrow and possibly Sunday. That one's got a, I don't know if it's this one or the one next to it's got a thing. It's this one. It's got a nubbin. There we go. But you can hear how tightly they're fitting. There were so many 3/10s in this painting to start off with. To keep from constantly refilling my container, I went downstairs and I looked at Mom and I went, I need the tallest medicine bottle you have. And she had just emptied one out. And it's a pretty good sized medicine bottle. It's probably 2.5 size the height of this. And I poured all of the 3/10s in that container. And I just now was able to condense them down into a regular container. But that's how many 3/10s have come with this painting. And other than the other night when I poured my 3371, which is a chocolate brown, into my 3/10s, which are black, and it was dark, I just picked up the wrong container. It hasn't given me any trouble at all. I had to wait till the next day though to separate those because it was dark and I just could not differentiate the colors. I was kicking myself for doing that though. But I typically, when I pour drills into my tray, I will take the drill container and just set it a side so I know which one I'm working on, and that works twofold. Not only do I have the drill container and I know which one I'm working on when I'm pouring it all back in, is if I'm having a brain fart as far as which number I'm working on, I can always refer back to the container that's sitting off to the side. Oh, I'm working on this symbol, or oh, I'm working on this letter, or, you know, because sometimes when they're all in, like that, I had that one yellow section, you can forget, oh crap, who am I working on? And you put drills in the wrong spot. So, I try to keep it set off to the side so I can visualize if I need to go back and fix something. So I'm not quite sure how I managed to get the wrong color in the wrong jar. I just had a brain fart and grabbed 310. But boy, did I do it. As you can see, you just kind of get into a rhythm and just plop and plunk. It's really easy. Until you have to stop and get more wax. That one's a trash drill. A true piece of trash, not just a drill with a nubbin or slightly misshapen. Okay, let's find out where Mother's going. She just went out the front door. She locked it. She has her purse. Oh, she's going to the post office. Okay. Yep, she's got her purse. She's got her she's mailing Christmas cards already. She has officially beat me at the Christmas card game. I normally try to get mine mailed out right after Thanksgiving. I normally spend Black Friday working on Christmas cards, and then I get them mailed out right after that. But she has officially beat me in the Christmas card game. Because the last place you will find me on Black Friday is in a store. Not happening. Ooh, it's just popped. I am not going to a store on Black Friday. I have worked too many years in emergency rooms on that day and witnessed people's crazy through the emergency room. I am not getting my happy behind out in that mess. To me, that is Christmas card working day and fill my belly full of leftovers. I might make stock from the turkey bones. But yep, I stay home. I went 1 year when Kayla was a baby to Walmart because there was something Mom needed to get her for Christmas. Never again. And it was a Black Friday sale, so what she wanted to get her was going to be super cheap. Never again did I go. Okay, we're just about finished. And there we go. Okay, so I'm going to just a little wax. Yeah, it's just wax. Okay. I'm going to put my drills away before a cat comes barreling through here and knocks them over. Oh, speaking of which, there's a biscuit. Don't shake the camera. Good boy. Alrighty, so there is, we did these two sections right here today during this section, or during this session. I will move this up a little bit. So you can see a little bit. I've done all of this and this. So, today. Yep. Thank you so much for joining me. I really, really appreciate anybody who stops and plays with me a little bit. I know you have a choice of the YouTube channels that you watch, and I'm just very, very thankful that you choose to spend a few minutes of your day with me. Until next time. Bye-bye, guys.